This is Dumbed Down Life. Number 76.
This is Dumbed Down Life, and you may not know me, but that was Blake Morgan with I'm Amazed.
No, it wasn't. It was Blake Morgan with Baby, I'm Amazed. But thanks for
Is
your
it Baby
input
I'm
there,
Amazed?
Doug.
Shouldn't it be Maybe?
Or is it Maybe I'm Amazed?
It should be Maybe, I'm sure.
Well, it was Blake Morgan, and he's amazed about something, and he wrote a song. Well, he didn't even write the song, he covered the song.
Do you want to start again then, Lance?
No, I think that worked out really quite well.
baby, I'm amazed. No, it's maybe I'm amazed. Bloody hell.
You're listening to Dumbed Down Life.
I've spent the day trying to do something that I used to enjoy doing, which was fixing cars. Now, Doug, do you dabble with engines and the like, Doug, or are you can to
as
leave that
much
to
as
the mechanics?
as much as I possibly can, Darren.
It used to be the day that when the car went wrong, you could generally use a bit of duct tape and pair of tights and fix most problems. But my dad's just got a new car, and we and the problem with it is that it keeps having this warning light appear on the dashboard, and it's just a general warning. Um, Please look at manual to find out what's wrong. Doesn't give you an error code, doesn't give you any kind of clue. It's just a warning. And so we had the car up on the jacks, and we took all the wheels off and wobbled all the wires to make sure that they were all, secure. And again, the car's still making this warning noise. So we took the car to the local Quick Fit, and the idea was that they're going to plug their special computer system in and tell us what this warning light means. The problem was they couldn't find the port where you plug the computer into. It seems to be that the manufacturers delight in hiding these ports so that you end up having to go back to, in this case, the VW dealer, so that they can charge you 80 quid to do their own diagnostics.
Mm-hmm.
So we came back, and again, we took off as many body panels from the inside of the cockpit as we could to try and find this bloody port. And eventually we found it underneath the change tray. So we'd already taken out sort of most of the dashboard and couldn't find anything. We'd taken out the fuse box and couldn't find anything. But yeah, took out the little change tray, and there was this bright pink port that we plugged it into. And we've since found that you can buy your own diagnostic machine that plugs into this little port for about 20 quid.
And is that universal, or is that specific to a model of manufacturer of car?
There appears to be a couple of different standards. So the one that I've now put on order does VW, Fiat, and Audi, and Saab. But there is another one that does Ford, GM vehicles, and all this sort of thing. One of the other things that I've found, but Dad wasn't that enthusiastic about, is you can get a cable that plugs into the port, and the other end goes into your iPhone. And you then have a little application that gives you all the information about your vehicle. Combined with that, it also uses the accelerometer that's in your phone to tell how hard you're braking, and combine all that information together.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I've now got this little device on order, and hopefully when that comes through, we plug it in and it'll tell us what this warning light on the dashboard means. But it's just a step further than we used to do with the, you can hear that the brakes are grinding, therefore you know the brakes are worn out. Now we're having to rely on the thing saying, ooh, there's a brake problem. A generic brake problem has occurred. And you're like, oh, what does that mean? And,
it's the Windows form of warning light, isn't it?
Exactly.
There's a general
they
error.
They made these jokes about, if Microsoft made cars, then they'd be crashing every 5 minutes and you wouldn't know why. But it's getting that way. We get these alarms flashing on the screen saying, stop, it's dangerous to drive this car. And it doesn't tell you why. It just tells you to pull over and abandon the vehicle before it explodes.
And you find that
Why?
you've left your boot open or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You can actually buy over here for about, I don't know, they're about $300, something like that. You can actually buy those plugins, but as well as reading the data, they'll also allow you to reprogram different components of the electrical system of the car, the processor that runs your fuel efficiency and stuff like that. Because I know. Well, I bought a new set of clocks for my truck because on my truck I have a speedo, and then I have a huge fuel gauge, which kind of makes you sick when it's a 5.2 litre V8 and just to pull away from the petrol station costs you about $30. So I wanted to get a smaller fuel gauge and have a rev counter, a tacho. So I bought a set of clocks with a tacho, but of course the mileage is stored on the car's central computer, not in the speedo. So, or vice versa. So when I plugged it in, of course, it shows incorrect mileage, which technically is illegal. So I looked into having it reprogrammed. To send the speedo away and have it reprogrammed was about $300 just to have them reprogram how many miles a truck had done so that it was legitimate. So I thought about buying one of those, but I never did.
Feel this too, it's not only me. I'm not dreaming, swaying on this breeze. I'm floating, flying, gliding easy through the fall, through the fall, sailing like a leaf, tumbling through the air. Love's breeze a blowing takes me from the branches I've been clinging to, but now I just let go to the ground below. On love's breeze I'm sailing, I'm flying, knowing that you will catch me and I won't fall. It tumbles from your love that's a blowing, strong enough I can't hold on, but I don't have to. Now I finally know I can just let go. On love's breeze I'm sailing, I'm flying, knowing that you catch me and I won't fall alone. Don't it feel like sweet salvation when your fears are gone? Can't believe they've blown away just from
I've just recently, not so long ago, got a speeding ticket for doing 66 in a 45 mile per hour zone, which I'm currently having to pay shitloads of money so it doesn't affect my insurance. But I got that because I call my truck my big red penis extension, which it really is, because it's very loud. It's got this big V8 and it makes me feel manly when I drive it. And one of the things I love more than anything is to put my toe down really hard because it just roars. It's not that fast. It's a pickup truck. It's designed for torque, not speed. But nonetheless, it sounds spectacular when you put your foot down. So I tend to, if particularly on the way to work, because I tend to run late on the way to work almost every day. So I'll come to some country lane and you got some doofus doing 40 in a 55 zone, so I'll just floor it. And when I do that, I tend, every so often, I'll get an engine warning light comes on. Now, apparently what this is, it's a common issue. It's something to do with the fuel pressure, and it's to do with how tight your fuel cap is sealed. So when you put your toe down, there's this sudden drop in pressure, and it registers on this sensor, and you get the warning. But the good thing about mine is, after I think it's 4 times of turning the engine off and restarting it, the warning light goes out. So you don't actually have to program it to turn the warning light out. It does it automatically after a certain amount of restarts.
Well, this all sort of started from, we had a hire car for the past couple of weeks while I've been doing some work, and this hire car, the prominent display in the middle of the speedo shows you how many miles you've got left in your tank. Depending on the way you're driving. So you're doing a bit of motorway driving and it says you've got 200 miles left. You pull off and you start doing some backstreet driving and it says, well, actually, now if you're going to keep doing this backstreet driving, you only got 140 miles left. And we realised that from driving this car for 2 weeks, we weren't actually using the fuel gauge at all. And it was all down to sort of watching the way that the computer calculated how many miles it reckoned that you had left. And it sort of got Dad and I talking about how dependent we're becoming on these computer systems. And he said, fuel gauge was so much easier, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, other than what's actually obvious displayed, the computer is doing so much more nowadays that, if that little black box goes wrong, you've got to replace it. You can't cheat it anymore. You can't cheat the systems.
Nope. No, and you're right. And I mean, cars have they've got to the point now. I mean, I grew up with my dad from knee high to a grasshopper fixing cars, and I fix all my own cars. Yeah. But there are so many issues on a car nowadays that you can't fix at home because of all the computers and stuff that run just about everything on your car. Now, I mean, I'll admit my truck doesn't have that thing that says, you've got X number of miles left. And I actually think that was probably done deliberately by Dodge because it would scared people off on the test run. Because you'd have a full tank and it'd say you have 30 miles. Because the reason I think my truck has so much torque is simply because it's designed to pull a fuel tanker behind it. Just so that's good, It's not exactly fuel economic. I'll hands up, I'm not a green person. Given the choice between saving the planet and getting off on the growl of my V8, I'd pick the growl of my V8 every day, even if it does cost me a mortgage a week in fuel.
I hear bored people.
This has been Dumbed Down Life number 76. Thanks for listening and join us again tomorrow.
You can call the Dumbed Down Life crew on 07092 274 759.
You can follow us on Twitter. Our account name is Dumbed Down Life.
The email address is ddl.podshow@gmail.com. The website address is www.dumbeddownlife.com.
So have you got enough to edit for 2 shows yet, Lance?
Well, it's all one conversation, isn't it? It's all been driving in cars and stuff, so that's like one show. Do need to do a wrap-up and a joke. If somebody would like to say, gee, thanks for listening and join us again tomorrow.
All right, I'll do that. Bye.
It's been emotional. Bye.
Well, that'll do as the joke, actually.